Hi, my name is Angelina Rodriguez, and I'm reading the Bible out loud to you in a way that's easier to understand. This is the book of Exodus, and we are on chapter 2. Now, a man of the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could hide him no longer, she got papyrus basket for him and coated it in tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. His sisters stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the river bank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This is one of the Hebrew babies," she said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" "Yes, go," she answered. So the girl went and got the baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take the baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." So the woman took the baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, "I drew him out of the water." One day after Moses had grown up, he went out to where his people were and watched them at their hard labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his own people. Looking this way and that way to see no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out and saw 2 Hebrews fighting. He asked the one in the wrong, "Why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew?" The man said, "Who made you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought, what I did must have become known. So he's afraid. Moses is afraid that these people know that he killed this man for beating up a Hebrew brother of his. And now he sees 2 other people fighting, and he's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Why are you fighting?" And they're like, "Oh, first of all, who are you to judge us? We already know that you saw 2 people fighting the other day and you killed somebody. Are you going to kill us too?" And now he's like, "Oh my God, I didn't think anybody knew. I'm freaking out. What am I going to do? They know." So paranoia is setting in, and guilt and shame. When Pharaoh heard of this, he tried to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in Midian, where he sat down by a well. Now a priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's flock. Some shepherds came along and drove them away, but Moses got up and came to their rescue and watered their flock. When the girls returned to rule their father, he asked them, "Why have you returned so early?" They answered, "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." "And where is he?" Reuel asked his daughters. "Why did you leave him? Invite him to have something to eat." Moses agreed to stay with the man who gave his daughter Zipporah to Moses in marriage. Zipporah gave birth to a son, and Moses named him Gershom, saying, "I have become a foreigner in a foreign land." During that long period, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned in their slavery, and cried out. There was a great cry from Egypt, from the slaves that were being kept there. This is a huge part of Moses' story. That's why I'm stopping right here for a minute to explain to you that we just witnessed, in chapter 1 of Exodus, they were, saying, kill the babies if it's a boy, and then they said throw them into the Nile. By throwing them into the Nile, they didn't kill them. They had the fighting chance. They either floated or drowned, or somebody found them. Just they left the fate in the hands of the child. Still, a very brutal act. This child was spared because his mother put him in a cradle that was, coated with tar and pitch, and it was sent to float. And these women saw the baby and said, we're taking it in, we're taking care of it. They raised the baby, they named him Moses. And now Moses has murdered someone. He's run off to hide because he's afraid that, punishment is death. Back then it was eye for eye, a tooth for a tooth. So you murder, you get murdered. He's running for his life and runs across a well. And there's two girls who are attacked by a bunch of shepherds that were just, really not very nice people. And Moses rescued them. So they went home and told their father what he had done. And he said, bring him home. Bring him home. And he decided to live there with their father, Reuel. And he also married his daughter Zipporah. So that's where we are right now. During the long period, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out. And their cry for help because of the slavery went up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. So God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them. That is the end of chapter 2. I look forward to reading chapter 3. And if you want to catch up, all you have to do is find me on my YouTube channel at Jesus is a DJ. It's all one word. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that I can go live with all of this. It'll be so much easier. Thank you.